It's the future.
Boy.
Unbelievable. Oh,
Why do you have an alarm going off? Why do you have an alarm set?
Don't worry about it. Wow.
Are you baking goods?
I've baked goods.
You look like baked goods right now.
Welcome, sayonara.
No, sayonara means bye, doesn't it?
Gracias.
You don't know words anymore, do you?
We're trying to reach out to our more international audience
Oh.
on this episode of It's the Future podcast, episode
66, dude.
Exactly, yeah.
I only know that because I looked it up. I cheated.
Yeah. Why are you being cheating all the time?
Dude, I know.
Dude, we have changed in such immense ways that it's almost indescribable. I feel like it's laboring to actually speak because I haven't spoken to too many humans lately.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. How are you hanging in there?
Change your name over here. It just says your email address instead of your real name. You dope.
I don't know how to change that.
Oh, we'll go into your settings. Yeah. You dopey dope. I'm gonna have to blur that out and post.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I would do that. Oh, maybe because you sent it to.
Maybe because you're difficult. That's why.
Maybe because you're a poopy head, dude. You ever thought about that?
This is Matt Legier over here, and
Steve Lonzo right there.
Junior. Don't forget that Junior,
no, dude. Let the Junior thing go, dude.
No, I will never let it go. I will never let Junior die.
I hate those little things at the end. Fucking XXX1, JR, SR. Just
no,
say
it's staying.
And let it be.
It's staying because it's a reminder to my parents that you don't name another human after another human. You just don't do it. Especially consecutive humans.
I guess that's fair. I just think it's bullshit to begin with that people are so unoriginal that they're going to go like, you know what? I got nothing. Let's do me.
Like this. You know? This name works good. Let's do it again.
Yeah, let's keep it riding. I don't believe in that.
We have an ongoing feud with my folks that they like want me to do a third, and I'm like, nope, not gonna do it.
No, that's not gonna. You know what? That's selfish.
There's too many cool names out there.
It's selfish. You should be naming people like Alpha, or Omega or Apple. You know
like Elon Musk just named his kid like a bunch of numbers and letters and stuff.
Ash, fucking whatever it is. Yeah, it's I don't know. Not into it.
That kid will live on Mars. No problem.
This face to that.
Speaking of faces,
dude, your face has changed quite significantly since last podcast.
What do you notice most about it?
You mean what jumps out to me as the primary change? I would say your bald head, but we've seen that already. No, but it's so shiny that it's like almost like geez, it's so bright.
I got a new computer and my light is like right behind it, so it shines on my face.
Caterpillars that are no longer there. Well, let's hear a little bit about how that came to pass.
So we'll talk about it real quick because then we have a special guest that's waiting in the waiting room.
Yeah.
But what happened was this. That sounded like Bobby Lee. What had happened is
what happened is this.
It is what it is. No, so I got a message from a friend of mine whose son actually just completed his last session of chemotherapy for.
Can you add clap animation?
I'll add some claps in there. Colt Verbeck is his name. That's and his dad, Chad, a good friend of mine, just had a really incredible beard, like lumberjack-ish. Yeah. And he said, "Hey, we're gonna do a beard off on Memorial Day.
Yeah.
And would you like to do it?" And I said, "Yeah, let's do it." So I haven't seen my face in 6 years. So I decided, and I had Sammy, who's sleeping over here, right there.
Yeah, right there.
Do it for me. We did like a Zoom meeting like this, and they raised over $2,000, I think, just for that alone. So I started sending pictures that evening to yourself and some of our other friends on a group chat.
Special time shout out.
Special time shout out. And someone mentioned, hey, $50 and if you shave your eyebrows off too. I'll tell you
who the someone was. It was the grand champion himself.
I couldn't remember if it was you or him, but
no, he's initially.
I rebutted and said, if everybody in the group chat gives me $50, I'll do it. Which that ended up being how much money? Like $300. Dude,
and then immediately Mark ends up sending 50 without even he goes, what's happening? And then all of a sudden I see a notification. And then I'm out of breath calling Joe, our boy Joe DeChara, to try to get him off of his video game and to try to donate for the cause. And then so he followed suit, and then I sent 50, and then Higgins actually ended up sending 50 the next day. Sammy sent 50. I think in total it was like between the group chat and the people that saw that people were donating, it was like 400 or 450?
It was close to 400. It was like just almost 400 because some people.
The group chat itself was like was 300 flat, I think.
Yeah.
And then Sammy made 350.
Yeah, and then someone did 5 and 25. It was awesome. It was so fun, especially.
Dude, I was throwing up laughing. Dude, you have no idea, dude. Like, because going back and forth on
I know,
and seeing it on live, dude. Oh my gosh, that was the highlight. Like,
the thing is,
that was the highlight of my week, dude.
Don't challenge me with changing my appearance because I'll do it in a heartbeat. And I just knew how funny it was going to be with you guys, and that it's going to a good cause. So
yeah, exactly. And so, like, I think that was the big thing with us was like, you know what? As funny as that is, it's also win-win situation going to a good cause like that. So
right.
I think it's great. One thing real quick before we get our guest in here, I just wanted to make, because, you know, obviously we want to make light in times like these. I mean, shit's going crazy across America. I just don't want to be lost on our audience that, you know, Black Lives Matter. That also doesn't mean that all lives don't matter, but that's not the focal point right now.
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter, and I think that we need to support our African-American community, people of color. They need to know that they're supported by white allies. I think that shouldn't be missed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Good to say that. I mean, it's just these times are just so wild. Every night I've been like watching the news, and sometimes it's just so exhausting. I just shut it off. I'm like,
as soon as it gets through the second cycle and like redundant, I have to.
I'm like, bye.
Because it just hurts my heart, you know. So,
but hopefully, you know, we'll get through this. I mean, I know we will. It's just taking a lot longer, and it's got to go through its course, you know. So, but as far as, and it's actually good that we mentioned this before we bring up our special guest, because I have some questions for him about, you know, he's a school teacher. He's my cousin, actually. His name is Michael Cassone. We're going to bring him in just a second. And he, you know, asking him questions about, or just getting his opinions about being a teacher. He's during these times, obviously school's been closed, and how has he been handling that? And also he's a dad. So how do you tell your kids what's going on during this? So those types of things, I really wanted to bring him in. Plus, like, he's one of my cousins that we only keep in touch through social media. And we actually, I really keep social media mainly because of, I can keep attachments to my family like I have with Mike. So let's bring him in. I don't know if he could hear any of this that's happening right now, but
I don't know either.
I'm gonna admit him into the meeting.
Word.
Into the pod. All right, he's joining now. Wow, look at that.
I can't see him yet.
He has a picture.
Hold on.
Oh,
that's savage. I like that.
Wow. There he is.
Sorry, I just turned down my music here.
Yeah, turn down your rap music, whatever you're listening to there.
Sorry. Hey, let me just pull this up here.
There he is.
I'm wearing my eyebrows. I feel a little overdressed.
We need to get those things out of here.
Yeah, I wish I didn't really. You were really clear on the invite, but. All right. Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
No eyebrow zone.
No, we're eyebrow neutral.
Yeah,
that's where we are.
Yeah, well, I'm bringing it hard.
Yeah, I love it. Well, welcome, Michael Cassone, my cousin from
Thank you.
Connecticut. I won't say where because that's creepy, But Mike, were you able to hear? Were you able to hear anything before you came on? I'm not sure how this works.
No, I was totally in the dark, man.
Oh, we were talking terrible
we
things.
We talked some mad trash about you, first of all.
That's a good thing.
Sweet.
Sweet.
No, I was just mentioning that, we have a large family on our mother's side. Both of our mothers are cousins. And so now are we second cousins then, Mike? How does that work?
Yeah, we're second cousins.
We're second cousins.
So,
okay.
Well, actually, wait a minute. So,
my
mom's first cousin.
Yeah.
Which would make her progeny second cousins.
Yeah. Yep. We are. And we look like we're brothers. So
look at that quick genealogy right there.
Right.
But I wanted to mention, we don't get to see each other too often in person. And what's really nice about social media in general and Facebook is I get to keep up with you and your family. You have 2 daughters now, and you have a beautiful wife, Antonetta. So it's really fun.
Beautiful.
But I wanted to say, it's great that we can keep in touch with that. There she is. Hey. Hi guys.
Hello.
So I was just saying this, with what's going on in the world right now, obviously every time you pull up social media, you're getting all kinds of craziness going on. But I like the fact that I keep my social media active, that we can keep in touch with each other. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's sort of becoming this media where if people were a little annoyed by it in the beginning or poo-pooed it or just didn't have time for it, they're kind of beginning to find new value in that. I sent my dad a video text the other day just to try it out, and he's like, "Whoa, this is crazy."
Yeah.
I'm like, Dad, I'm from the future, but
my parents got. Oh, good.
Yeah, it's encouraging to see people use it for any kind of positive communication, touching base, rather than just using it for a headline generator,
Right, absolutely. And with what's going on, obviously being a school teacher, we wanted to ask you your take on how it's been teaching classes virtually since school's been closed with the coronavirus since, what was it, March, I think?
Yep.
So, yeah, for me it was it started when I walked out of the building. It was Thursday, March 13th.
Wow.
And everybody was like, "Oh, I'll see you tomorrow." I'm like, So yeah. I remember just taking all my stuff because I just had a gut feeling we'd be back later, or if never. So so to put it simply, I don't think a lot of schools were completely ready for total distance learning. Some school districts were, because that's what they do during snow days, so they don't lose any days.
Right.
Makes sense.
So our district, I would say from March 14th until April 1st, literally developed an entire system, a hierarchy, all the infrastructure they needed for distance learning in 2 weeks. And that included training and everything. So it was really, really cool to see that there was total buy-in from the staff, the support staff, everybody.
Yeah.
Was it a weird transition at first, to have a workspace and to carve out, time?
Yeah, it's still weird, to be honest. It started, I brought up my wife's computer monitors for work. And then I realized that my office downstairs, which is the kids' playroom, was going to have to move up here too. So we've been sitting at the end of the table for a couple months now, and it's just everything happens at this table. We eat here, we work here, we do homework here. I think you either adapt or you go nuts. Is
right.
Really what it comes down to.
Yeah, it's and I really give a lot of credit to. We have a lot of teachers actually in our family, and just talking to them and hearing about their experiences, they said the same thing. They just you kind of just were forced to figure it out and do the best you can with it. And I feel it's such a crazy, especially when you say they weren't prepared. Well, it's I don't think anyone was prepared for any of this.
Right, and I think a lot of districts, they kind of made peace with that fact. They're like, hey, this was something that we were always going to do down the road when we had time or if we had some extra budget money. But once there was really, really signs that this could be long-term, all the administration mobilized and got it together. I think in the beginning, the first 2 weeks of what we were doing, all the teachers weren't really sure how much to give, how much work.
Right.
What was the rigor? And within about 2 weeks, we kind of got some guidance from the administrators saying, hey, don't forget, the kids' health and well-being and mental health kind of come first.
Right.
This isn't really the same thing as school, so let's adjust it so the kids have a couple days to flesh out their assignments rather than something due every day at midnight, which is, I mean, how are we to know,
Yeah. Yeah, both my parents are educators in New Hampshire, and I would say for the first 2 weeks, I can vouch for, for that fact of like kind of just floating in the wind, like trying things out. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then move to a different, style of giving homework or educating. I mean, it's a learning process as you go.
And I think there's no unified model. So let's say I'm the freshman science teacher, the junior physics teacher was doing it a different way. So the kids their heads were spinning.
Yeah.
But I think the number one thing that I've noticed from this whole thing is that at the end of the day, it's taught a lot of teachers the importance of like compassion.
Yeah.
There's a time and a place to be a real stickler and say, hey, it was due by 11:59 p.m. And that isn't working now.
Yeah.
You really have to keep an open mind that there's a lot of other moving parts to their lives. They're watching siblings, they're working, they're bringing money home to their family. Just, don't ask them to bend the knee on every assignment, Yep.
Yeah. And you teach science, right?
Yep.
Now, is there anything, both Matt and I are huge fans of science. Especially you can see Matt looks like he's been like cooking up potions and stuff in his
if you guys had said like history, I was just going to turn off my camera and log off.
But
my dad's a science teacher as well, so I'm
good,
fully into it.
Has there been any, not to change the subject, but I mean, has there been anything in the world of science that has come up in the past few months that has been a new thing that you've been teaching, or anything that it's notable that we could share with our listeners?
As far as like new, like current events kind of stuff, I've really kind of, first of all, I've avoided any kind of lessons surrounding the coronavirus. It's just sort of like, it's like doing a book report on your school bully.
Right.
I don't really have anything that like pops up. Like if something interesting comes up, like on a video feed, like I'll throw it into my classroom. But I think one of them was I found footage of an Air Force base out in, I want to say California. They were trying out different high-speed engines, and this was a Mach 8.1 sled.
Wow.
So you're watching it at like full speed on your screen. You're like, when is it going to happen? It already happened. So.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, so I'm into stuff like that. Little 5-minute, videos like that.
It kind of reminds me of that guy Bob Lazar that was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he was like that UFO guy, but he made a car out of like a jet engine.
Yeah, he put a jet engine on a car.
Yeah, and it worked, and it was like, I don't know if it was street legal, probably not, but that
does remind me, if you guys have a chance, there's a video of a car that's powered under steam, just like not like steam like a caboose, but just like if you shook a seltzer bottle and just opened the top, just pressurized water. The thing just rips.
That's awesome.
That's sick.
It's kind of like when you take Mentos and drop it in a Coke. Right?
My daughter keeps asking for that. Emma keeps asking, but I'm like, oh, I forgot both ingredients again. Oh.
I'll remember next time.
Yeah,
that's
We're almost there.
Well, speaking of your kids too, like I know, as both Matt and I don't have kids, so our perspective on this all the stuff that's happening in the world right now, we don't really have to then go and explain it to someone that doesn't understand what's going on. So I don't know if that's come up with you guys. Like, have you guys talked about how to explain this to your kids, what's happening, or can you touch on that at all?
So for my students, we actually, as teachers, I'll talk about my students, then I'll talk about my daughters.
Yeah.
When stuff like this happens, we kind of wait for direction from administrators. Like usually the school district will issue a statement on like racial injustice, for example.
Yeah.
And it kind of puts us all under the same umbrella of, in terms of like the character of the employees under this district. I don't want to say they do the talking for us, but we really want to limit our personal views. And this is the kind of thing where if we wanted to have a conversation with our students, we'd probably do it in a big assembly.
Right.
Sorry.
Seraphina's
already going to talk.
Yeah. You want to have consistent messaging across the board. You don't want, one teacher in this class saying one thing and then one, you can have your own opinions, but you want that messaging to be consistent, I'd imagine.
And I think with something like this, like a public school, the teachers, whether you teach math or science or English, I know my district would usually say, listen, this is going to come up in conversation. While we don't want it to override your lessons, please encourage constructive conversation or direct them to these resources. But for Emma, my daughter, we were talking Wednesday about it. I was watching a video on the computer and she asked what's going on. And I kind of explained, I said, look, people in America are very upset about something that happened. We explained that, the way that he was treated had nothing to do with what he did wrong. It was sort of a human decision from one person to another. And we did explain that the country feels very upset because it happens a lot to people of color. And I said, unfortunately, he did die. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah, he died from injuries that he probably got from a police officer that didn't follow the way that he was taught.
Right. And was surrounded by negligent, people that.
Yes. And I actually showed her a shorter clip of the video.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, who took this video? I said, another person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, why didn't she help?
I said, just so sharp, picking up on things, man.
Yeah.
Right. And I said, okay, I agree with you there, Emma. I said, but she was making sure. I said, in a way, she was helping. Yeah, I don't know. I said, look, yeah, I'm sure she could have put the camera down. But I said she felt strongly about it. And she wanted the rest of the world to see that this happened before, the other side of the story got told.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But she did see that the other officers were like this. And she's like, well, why aren't they helping? And that's what I think kids need to know, is that the whole Mr. Rogers lesson is that, when things go down, look for the helpers, look for the firemen, the firefighters. We teach that to our kids, but then we release them into the world where,
right.
they're fearful,
Yep.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, it hurts a lot. I said, because that's not how we would treat people. And that's not, that's not how daddy would want to be treated if he was arrested. Or I said, there's just so many feelings that come up. And I said, so I showed her some clips of the rioting. She's like, why are people doing this? I said, they're angry, they're frustrated. And I said, but sometimes people are doing things like this because they're overly excited.
Yeah.
I said, they've kind of, just like that police officer lost control, they're losing control too. And now they don't know how to stop. It's just the thrill of it. And she's like, well, that's wrong. I said, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's just a bigger universe to this whole thing that I hope, she understands that it's really never going to be the same kind of world for her,
right,
than somebody else. And
that's
really
great, Mike. That's
yeah.
It's great that you're just, just very straight to the point and honest too about what's going on. Cause it's tough. I'm sure it's you don't want to reveal so much. You want to be very tactical and careful about how you explain it.
Yep.
And that was incredible. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And then definitely wanted to touch base with you too on, I know you and your brothers are huge fishermen, or you have a big hobby with that with your dad. And I don't know if
boating and angling, yep.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys have been able to get together during all this or got together beforehand, but if you could talk to us a little bit how that became a thing with you guys, because I always see pictures of you guys fishing and holding up these huge fish, and I'm like, I need to go out there and get one of those.
Yeah.
But how did that start with you guys?
Okay, so my dad, when he was a kid, always fished with his best friends. His uncles and grandfather would take him fishing to Niantic, Connecticut, which is really not that far from where where a lot of the best, fishing happens on sort of that end. When he moved to Branford, he met a local, kind of an old salt, took him under his wing, filled in the rest of the gaps, and he lived by the sea, and it was his favorite thing to do. So
yeah,
naturally he wanted to spend time with his kids, but also not sacrifice his passion. So I think we'll bring him along.
Yeah.
And whether we wanted to or not, it became something that we just love to do. It's how we spent a lot of time together, and still is to a degree, but we're all busy, and it's not all four of us anymore, but it's
right.
One guy on one weekend, one guy on another. But yeah, it's just part of my fabric now.
Yeah, I know.
What do you fish for? You out there on the ocean or in the rivers?
Yep, we live right off of Long Island Sound. So in the summertime, in the fall, we're out fishing the Sound for striped bass, bluefish, nice. Blackfish, and then in the springtime, in the summer, we do lakes and streams for trout, bass.
I was gonna say, yeah, my dad's up in New Hampshire, and he's constantly texting me. You talking about video messages? He sends me pictures just about every weekend of all the brookies that he's caught and the trout and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, man, that's awesome.
It's fun, and I brought Emma a few times, and she likes it, but I'm not grooming her.
Yeah,
other things she like. For me, it just sort of it was like one pass with the brush. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna do this every day.
I always get so unlucky with it. I've gone on a couple private charters, and actually, Matt, I don't know if he remembers this, but we used to work at the same place, like an office, and there was this team outing that I had to organize. So I organized in the summertime this charter out of Gloucester, and it was going to be deep sea fishing and for 4 hours or something like that. And for some reason, there was something, I think my phone died that day, and the guy was trying to call me, telling me hey, there's 10-foot swells. It's not a good idea to go out. And everyone looked to me to make the decision. And I was like, well, I mean, we've paid the money. This is the only weekend we can go. Let's just go out and see what happens. And we get out there, and it is 10-foot swells. But being it was probably 9 of us, maybe 5 guys, 4 girls. All the guys are on the side of the boat this is great. We're pirates. And then maybe half an hour later, all of us are puking off the side of the boat, and we had to turn around and come back in. We didn't even put a hook in the water. So it was just
but you know what though? I mean, I think if you're gonna do something new and different, you got to go all in.
You got to go for it, right? Yeah.
Because if it was really that bad, the captain would have been I got to stop you right there.
Yeah. No, he let us go out, and he. I wish the other people in my team felt the same way as you, because they were so pissed. but it was, I'll never forget that. It was so fun.
I took one of my best friends out, but it was probably about 15 years ago. I took him to my favorite trout river in Connecticut. It was the illest spot. And I was it's really challenging fishing. Have you never done this before? And as I'm getting ready, he's all right, I got one. I'm like, what? Just banging fish all morning. And I'm like, wow. He's I'm like, have you fished? He's like, no, never. I'm like, wow.
Beginner's luck right there. That always happens.
But the irony of that is that he's never gone fishing ever since. But
right. Yeah, it's my dad too he has a very small passion with fishing, but we've gone out a bunch of times. And one time we were fishing off of Castle Island in Boston. It's this one little nook where you can kind of get, at high tide, you can get your stuff out there. And I took a picture of him fishing. It was maybe just at dusk, and I sent that picture off to a friend of mine to make a painting out of it, and I was able to give it to my dad for Christmas one year. And it's just one of those things. I see it on the wall every once in a while, and it just brings it right back. Yeah, it just brings me back to that time, that moment captured.
So that's funny that you mentioned that. I actually had Joe's wife Christy commission a painting for my dad for Father's Day.
Oh, you did?
Check this bad boy out.
Oh, no kidding.
How sick is
crazy.
that?
Look at that rainbow trout.
That's
Isn't
beautiful.
that awesome? Yeah, so the frame's getting delivered in about, I don't know, maybe an hour or two. And
that's awesome.
No way.
We did not plan that. That was not planned. I just want to say.
Yeah, that was good. Good transition.
About 5 years ago, my dad caught a trout of a lifetime. 5-pound trout. Like since he's been 9, he wanted this fish.
Wow.
Pulled it in. We took pictures. I'm like, Dad, let's go. Let's pack it in. He's like, what? Where are we going? I'm like, we're going about 30 minutes from here. We're gonna get that fish taxidermized.
Yeah.
He's like, really? I'm like, I don't even care what you say right now. We're all chipping in.
We're doing it.
So now it's like.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
That's great.
How long does that process take, taking a fish over to get it done like that?
So with what we did is we took pictures of it right away.
Yeah.
Packed it on ice, drove it there. It was about an hour after he caught it. It already started to fade, but they go off of the pictures. They go off of what a fish like that should look like.
Yeah.
And it's not, I would say it probably took them 3 months to do it.
Wow.
I think it was like a couple hundred bucks, but it's all airbrushed and.
Yeah. And it's the actual fish.
No,
it isn't?
They mold it, or they have blanks that are about
that's
that.
Fascinating.
So what they do is they kind of they get all the dimensions of it, and then they create a mold.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Almost like a rendering of it. And then the old ones used to be real, and then they start to go funky and decay.
Yeah, I would imagine that, especially a fish.
Now these are all fiberglass blanks that are molded to that fish. And they airbrush it. So
that's wild.
That's awesome, man. Well,
that was the first thing my mom asked. She's like, "Is that going to stink up the house?"
Right. That's great. Well, Mike, thank you so much for coming on here, man. This has been incredible. I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to touch base on with us, but like I told you before, we really wanted to get a teacher's perspective, and I really think you did that for us today. So I really thank you for doing it.
Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mike. Nice to meet you, man.
All right, take care. Good luck, guys, and enjoy.
Yeah, say hey to the fam for me.
Stay healthy.
Will do.
All right, take care, bud.
Later, man.
All right.
That was great.
That was awesome, right?
Yeah, fantastic.
Now, obviously, we've gone over 40 minutes. I don't know if you've noticed, Matt, but
I sent you a text. Yeah,
you did. Are we doing phone libs? Yes, we are doing phone libs. I'm glad you brought that up.
No, I didn't know that if we're doing it with someone else. That was my point.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, because phone libs tend to get a little on the dirty side, I think.
Yeah.
And with his kids in the room, I don't think that was a good idea.
Yeah, that's why I didn't swear or anything.
Yeah. He actually asked me before. He's like, "Is this PG-13 or is this rated R?" Our podcast in general. I was like, "No, we'll keep it clean for you."
Yeah.
We are doing phone libs. Let me see if I can make this work, because I set someone up to call, because sometimes we do phone libs and we call them and they're not there.
Yep.
Every
time.
Basically? Like every time. Yeah. Let me call this gentleman here.
Phone libs is a crapshoot always.
Do you have it ready?
Yep.
Okay. Let me know if you can hear this too.
Dude, are you serious right now?
Oh my goodness, it's Ryan Swimsuit Calonder from Disco Risqué.
Literally just looking at your garbage Facebook post.
So just to give people some context, you're actually on It's the Future podcast right now.
I'm live?
Yeah, you're live on the podcast right now.
Oh, I'm always live. I actually did go leave today at Charlie's house too, so we got all the time in the world.
Oh, perfect. So to give people context of what's happening, I got nominated today to do that 10 movie challenge thing.
Oh, I hate, dude. If you tag me in that, I won't do it.
I won't, because I wasn't going to tag you because I knew you're a slimy bitch and you wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah, man. Okay.
But I got nominated by Andrew Holyfield, who is the bass player in Disco Risqué.
Yep.
And then I got nominated by Robert Prescott, who is the drummer of Disco Risqué.
He sounds like a trust fund owner.
You know who didn't nominate you?
Who? No, so I got nominated twice.
You didn't get nominated by me because those games are dumb.
I got nominated by you as well?
No, you didn't, because those games are dumb and I don't play them.
Oh,
Amen,
you don't
brother.
like the game.
Amen.
Okay. So I kindly said to Robert Prescott, aka Slim, hey man, sorry, I already got nominated. And then Ryan Swimsuit Big D comes out and says, that's not good enough, man. You have to participate. And then he got called out for not participating as well.
No. What I said was no excuses.
He did say no.
Play like a champion. If you don't want to play, you don't log on and tell people, I'm sorry, this is quiet. You just don't respond, bro. Have
wow. That's so honest and open of you.
Yeah, you just got to leave him on red.
Leave him unchecked. Well, we wanted to
pussyfoot around the situation.
No, definitely not. We wanted to call you because we have this game we like to play on the podcast that's called Phone Libs, where we call a friend and we ask them to give us adverbs, verbs, and adjectives.
Nouns.
And nouns.
Yeah.
Now, for the most part, people are not scholar that we call, and they don't know what like adverbs are, so we have to explain it. But are you prepared to participate in this game right now?
Adverb, it's something that describes the verb. Adjective describes the noun. Yeah, I'm hip, man.
Wow.
Hey.
He's a scholar. He's a scholar.
Yeah.
All right. So here we go.
Quickly.
Yeah.
Those words that end in ly. You got an adverb on your hand.
There we
Probably
go.
Probably my favorite form of speech, actually. Adverbs.
I always remember the ly. Actually.
That's beautiful.
Love you too, baby.
All right. So here we go. We're gonna get.
Get ly. Love you.
I get it,
thinking
Matt.
on so many different levels right now.
That's so woke. Okay, so here, listen.
Now I can't hear Matt.
Why can't I
hear him?
Oh, you can't hear Matt?
No.
Oh, wow.
Wow,
you know, because
probably because you have your headset plugged in.
Because I have my headset plugged in. Hold on, let me unplug my headset and see if you can hear Matt. 1 second. 1 second. All right. Can you hear Matt now?
Can you hear me, you handsome son of a bitch?
Oh, yeah, he is. Hold on, let me turn him up a bit. On my computer, how do I do it?
He's got a new setup. He doesn't know how to work it.
I got a new setup. And
I can kind of hear something in the background now, but it's like really, really faint.
It's really faint.
Really
okay, let me
low?
see. Hold on, Matt.
Low.
Hold on, Matthew. I don't have like a thing that I can turn up the volume for some reason. Oh, boy. All right.
Technical difficulties on his part.
Well, don't let me derail you.
It's not derailing. If I can turn it up, it'd be great. Yeah, I can't. Oh, wait. Audio settings. Here we go.
Audio volume.
Speaker. Talk again, Matt.
Hey, I'm talking, you handsome son of a bitch.
That's about as loud as I can get it.
Okay.
Can you hear him a little bit?
Okay, you know what? I can, as long as you two don't talk at the same time, I'll be able to hear him.
All right, perfect.
Sounds good to me.
Never happens.
Are you ready for your work?
All right, let's do some phone lives.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
Down.
He's ready.
All right. Let's fucking get this cracking. All right. So the first one is I need a person that you know.
A person that I know. Do I have to know them personally? Or do
I mean, it would imply, the question implies that, but hey, fuck it. You can go do whatever you want.
Yeah, you don't know who I know.
I don't even know you.
Jimmy Zemer.
Okay.
Who is it?
Jimmy Zemer is a friend of ours.
Jimmy Zemer. All right. That's
He's
great. Now we need an adjective. An adjective.
He needs an adjective now, Rye.
An adjective. Yeah, I can barely hear him. An adjective. Gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
I like that.
Okay.
An exclamation. So something that's just exclamatory.
Right. Well, fuck me silly.
I like that. All right. A nasty adjective.
Nasty adjective.
Nasty adjective. Fetid.
What did you say?
Fetid.
Fetid?
Yeah, Fetid.
What is that?
It's just like maybe the way you would describe a swamp.
A swan?
A swamp.
Swamp.
Oh, a swamp.
Jesus Christ. I like that.
That's a deep one. Okay.
We're going to need a noun.
That's right.
What did you need, a noun now?
Yeah.
A noun.
A noun?
Yeah, person, place, thing, or idea.
He knows what a noun is if he knows what an adverb is.
How about a eucalyptus tree?
Ooh.
Oh,
eucalyptus tree?
And then part of the body.
Butthole.
Yeah. Love butthole. And now we're going to need 4 plural nouns.
Four plural nouns. Yep. Okay, great. I've got that. So let's say ball sacks.
Ball sacks, plural, like it.
Cucumbers.
Cukes, yep.
Cumulonimbus clouds.
Oh, that's my favorite cloud.
And roof shingles.
Roof shingles. God. You might be looking out a window right now, but I love it. What the last one that we need, the last one we need from you is type of disease. It can be one that you have or don't have.
What's a disease?
You could say like eyebrow deficiency disease. That's real.
That's what Steve
yeah,
has.
I get it. So these can be fake diseases.
It could.
Oh yeah.
Steve thinks they're real. Okay, so how about here we go. Restless leg syndrome.
Ooh.
Oh God. Impacts so many millions of Americans each year. All right, I put that in there. All right, that's perfect.
Perfect. So now what we do is we read back the Mad Libs, but we don't do it with you on the phone. So the only way you can find out the results is you have to listen/watch the podcast when we post it.
Boom.
Cool. When
All right.
is that?
That's going to probably be, Friday?
Friday.
Probably Monday next week.
Monday.
You know
You're
what?
gonna have to
Let me know when it's posted.
I will.
I'll watch it for sure.
I will.
I like listening to your podcast when I mow the lawn. I told you that.
I know Ryan told me
That's
recently
awesome.
when he mows the lawn, he listens to our podcast, and it's
That's
like
sick.
perfect time for it too.
You know why? It's because he
Yeah,
can't. It's because he.
The one time I was doing it was literally the second I cut off the mower. You guys like, all right, we're siding off.
That's great. This one won't be a little longer. I actually bought the Zoom license that we can go longer than 40 minutes. So we might have to take a couple more paths, make sure that lawn's looking good.
Yeah.
Someone was complaining that it didn't have like the like cross marks on my lawn the other day, that I was only half-assing it with the up and down.
You got to have those lines,
I'll
man.
double down.
You got to have those lines.
Yep.
All right,
All
baby.
right,
Well,
you
thank
boys
you so
stay
much
safe.
again. I love you.
I'm looking forward to hearing the podcast.
All right, my man. Thanks again for coming on.
Hey,
Appreciate
have a
it.
good one, brother. Be good.
Peace.
There we go. Ryan Swimsuit Calonder. Swimsuit's his nickname.
Absolutely.
His
fantastic.
last name is Calendar.
That's unbelievable that that's true.
That is true. Oh, I'm putting my headphones on. So I probably should have just called him on the Zoom.
Yeah. But you know what?
But hey,
Fine.
you're a work in progress, Matt.
Dude, we've been working in progress. I just sent you the phone libs so that you can read. So
Awesome.
text.
You sent it in a text?
Yeah.
Okay.
Screenshot so you can
I
read
appreciate that.
Yep.
Oh, I have like a fan on me. Oh, it's so much better.
it. I can't hear anything.
Can you hear me now?
No, I mean like the fan or anything.
You can't hear the fan? Perfect. All right, let me open this phone libs, and typically I do a voice, but what are you thinking about for this one? You want me to
voice?
be
I think
just be straight,
straight
right?
up. Yeah.
Straight up. All right. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Smoking cigarettes. Hear that, Sammy?
A healthy pastime.
And actually, Sammy, could you help me out with something real quick?
No, I took my pants off.
Oh, she has no pants on. Okay, great. Smoking cigarettes.
Yep.
Medical science has discovered that smoking cigarettes causes restless leg syndrome.
Oh, God. And you know what's proof of that? Sammy's feet and legs have been going nonstop throughout this podcast.
Nonstop. We've been seeing her feet nonstop through this podcast.
Yep.
So they are restless.
Yep.
It is also bad for your eucalyptus tree
It is, dude. It just kills them.
and causes pains in the butthole.
If that isn't true, I don't know what is.
When mice and dogs were exposed to gorgeous cigarette smoke,
yeah,
they developed Jimmy Zemer's disease. Oh. Tobacco companies have put charcoal ball sacks on the ends of cigarettes, but they still spend millions of cucumbers advertising their fetid product.
Yep, dude. There's so many cukes that are gone every year just to advertise.
If you smoke cigarettes, the tobacco will leave all kinds of tar and what is this? How do you say this word?
Cumulonimbus clouds.
Cumulonimbus clouds.
Cumulonimbus.
In your lungs.
That's not true.
This will make you cough and say, well, fuck me, silly. Don't smoke cigarettes. Remember, only roof shingles smoke.
That's also very true.
Wow.
Only roof shingles smoke, dude.
That was great. That must have been, I think like they should contact Smokey the Bear and have him read that to the children.
I think that
they know not to be smoking them cigs.
Yep, I think that
right,
would
Sammy?
a lot of children.
Yeah.
We can blur that out in post-production. No, it didn't. It actually went above the camera.
It did.
It was perfect.
Well,
yeah, that was great.
Yeah, man, this has been a fun episode. I'm glad I feel like I learned something new, and I mean, we just have to touch on real quick. When are you getting a haircut? Like, what's happening?
Well, listen. Right now, I'm working with an absolute afro.
It looks terrible,
dude. It looks. Dude, do you know how luscious this hair is? Like, if you ran your fingers through, you'd get chills.
Like pictures of people from like the 70s and 80s where you're like, oh, what were they doing back then?
This is the longest my beard has been and the longest my hair has been since high school. Well,
I would say the pandemic has not been good on our appearances. I will say that.
I think more yours than mine, but just to be fair,
I think we're both working on a 35% less handsome.
I don't know. I'd give myself 25% less.
No. You're more than 25%, bud.
No, we can take a poll.
Please, let's take a poll. I'll put my name and I'll put your name. And what percentage uglier have we gotten since the start of the pandemic?
I like that.
I'm going to put that on today. I love that.
I like that. Hell yeah.
All right, my man. Well, I'm going to hit this this music to let us out. Outro. But my name is Steve Lanza Jr.
I'm Matt Legier.
And this has been It's the Future Podcast, episode 66. We'll see you next time.
See you on the other side. Black Lives Matter.
It's the future.